also today's disappearance of Shri Gopal Goswami. Rasika Rudi, Jia Nilo.
Page 99.
Jayanila Premadhana Karuna Prachu
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gauri Chandraya Radhikaya Sadalaya Krishnaya Krishnaya Sarvabhaktaya Vanchakalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhya च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। त्वत्त्वातुर्नमशेषमण्डलपतिं श्रेणीं सदा तुच्छवान् उद्वादीन गणेशकौ करुणया कोऽपि न कण्ठाशितो गोपी भावरसामृतबलहरि कल्लोलमग्नो मुहुः वन्दे रूप सनातनो भटजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौर विश्वे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनविरह कातुराजवाः पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तर्वो विनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमान् तस्मै। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि all together। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। one more time। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Today is very auspicious day, a very auspicious tithi, appearance and disappearance of two great acharyas whose contribution is unparalleled. To seek their blessings and their mercy, because we are beggars and we need to have abundance of mercy and blessings from all these acharyas. And therefore Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj told we should observe their tithis by glorifying them, by singing bhajans in glorification of these acharyas. Obeying his order, we here today observing this special auspicious tithi to invoke all auspiciousness by remembering the beautiful pastime, by remembering how they have attained the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was a question when somebody asked this question years back. If the pastime of Radha Krishna is everything, and the goal of life is to attain Radha Dasyam, what is the necessity of introducing another incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What is the necessity? The parikars of Radha Krishna, they are not less. They can also give us mercy. To understand this, no doubt Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu is ocean of mercy. But his mercy has some restrictions. He is very calculative. Very simply he says, Bhagavatam, Mukti Dadatit Kahachit Savana Bhakti Yoga. He can give mukti, liberation, and bhakti very easily. But Samana Bhakti Yoga, he keeps Bhakti Yoga hidden. And that too is promised in Bhagavad Gita. Ye yatha ma pravadante tam sadai bhajame. I reciprocate you proportionately. So, how are you ocean of mercy then? Yes, Rup Goswami Patol, he wrote in Lagu Bhagavatamritam, Sant avatar bahuva pankaj nava sarvatva bhadra Krishna vadanyai kova latosi premano bhavati. Amongst all incarnation, Krishna is supreme, the ultimate truth. He is so generous, he gives prema. He gives prema even to the creepers. But which creepers? Ordinary creepers? Those creepers who are already there in the kunjas. What about us? How Krishna is Karuna Sindhu for us, ocean of mercy for us. Being so calculated, if we start seeing our faults and flaws, can we be recipient of the mercy of Krishna? Radharani is Karunamai, embodiment of Karuna, compassion. But we have no access to Radharani. She is very compassionate to her Sakhis, to her Manjaris. They have Tadatme, oneness with Radharani. And Ahir eva gati swabhav kotila bhavet hetu ahetu yunam man uchyate. Sometimes she expresses her man, Salki Bodh, with any reason and many times without any reason. Hetu ahetu yunam man uchyate. Rup Goswami Ujjwal Nirmani. Sometimes with any cause, sometimes without any cause. She exhibiting this man, Salki Bodh, so that Krishna can pacify her. Why? This is the compassion of Radharani. Because who is the one who is enjoying this pastime of Krishna pacifying Radharani? She is not doing for herself. She is not enjoyer. She is intentionally doing to give enjoyment to her Sakhis. That's her compassion. And also to Krishna, because when Krishna pacifies Radharani, when Krishna serves Radharani, he derives pleasure. But she is not enjoyer. She is giving this opportunity to Krishna and all her Sakhis and the Manjaris. So no doubt she is Karuna, my embodiment of Karuna. But we have no access to Radharani. What to do? They both are very generous. But the problem is with us. We have no access to that domain. Therefore, when Karuna Sindhu, the ocean of mercy, Krishna, and Karunamai, the embodiment of compassion, they combine together, they become Sachidandan Gaurhari, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who came in this planet? Swaparsha Swadham Sahavatari. He came with his all parshas, his all associates, and his dham. And as Mahaprabhu is Vadanyai, not Vadanyai. Vadanya means generous. But he is Mahavadanyai, most generous. As he is most generous, his dham, Navdeep dham, is also equally generous. And his parikars are more generous than Mahaprabhu. There are some points where Mahaprabhu is very strict. Very strict. But his associates are more generous than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swaparsha Swadham Sahavatari. Atyant Durlabh Prem Kori Varedan. Shikaur Sharnagati Bhakater Aparad. To deliver what? Atyant Durlabh Prem. This prem, the wealth of this prem, which is so rare, so rare. Anarpitam Charin Chirat Karunya Avatin Kalau. Anarpit, which was not been given before or long time back. That's why this prem, this bhakti which is sudurlabha, is rare to attain, and this prem is so rare to attain. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he descended with his associates, with dham, to give access to everyone with this wealth of prem. Is he calculative? Yes, sometimes, but not most of the times. Shri Pradhan Saraswati Thakur is saying, Patra apatra vicharam na kurute na japaram vikshate. Without considering who's qualified, who's not qualified, Mahaprabhu is distributing this prem. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the embodiment of compassion. Imagine Krishna and Radharani together. Ocean of mercy and the embodiment of compassion together. Who is qualified to attain this? Shraddhavan Janahe Bhakti Adhikari. Only seeing little faith in someone, Mahaprabhu is showering all mercy to that sadhak. Shraddhajan. Nadiya Godru mein Nityanand Mahajan. Nadiya Godru mein Nityanand Mahajan. Padiya che naam hata jeevera karan. Shraddhavan jana hai, Shraddhavan jana. Shraddhavan jana hai, Shraddhavan jana. Padiya che naam hata jeevera karan. Padiya che naam hata jeevera karan. Nadiya Godru mein Nityanand Mahajan. Padiya che naam hata jeevera What is the Swarup of Mahaprabhu? There are many prospects. But one angle is Krishna wants to associate the beauty of Krishna wants to associate with his own beauty, and Krishna wants to associate by sweetness of his names, which him as Krishna cannot understand. I am not saying this. Evidence. Chaitanya Chaitamrit, Adi Leela, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. What he is saying? Krishna himself is saying. He is wondering. Vishay Jati Sukh Amar Halad. अमो होते कोटि गुण आश्रय आह्लाद, आश्रय जाति सुख पाए ते मन धाय, यत्न स्वादिते नारी की करी उपाय। ए चिंतित रहे कृष्ण परम कौतुकी, हृदय बड़े सदा लोभ धगधगी। His heart is throbbing. Thum, thum, thum. I am the enjoyer, the object of worship. But I cannot enjoy the sweetness of my beauty, the sweetness of my name. And therefore, he wants to associate with his own beauty, with his own name. But with the shelter of Radharani. Association. He also wants to associate the moods of Radharani. Imagine. The Supreme Lord who can do everything. Kartam akartam annata kartum. What is that what he can do? With his desire he can do anything. But his failure here. He is complete, but is expressing incompleteness. That's the reason why Mahaprabhu has to come as Mahaprabhu. Radha Pranay Vikriti Haladni Shakti Rasma. She Radha Pranay, you know this? Everyone should learn this word. The God Purnima is coming very soon. Yeah? Start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. The reasons for Mahaprabhu to come. Adi Leela. Start reading this and learn this verse. Shri Radha Pranay Vikriti Haladi Shakti Rasma. This verse. Anyhow. So, Mahaprabhu, Krishna wants to associate with the sweetness of his name and his beauty, and also want to associate what? Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagato Janato Ke. Jadi Gauranga Nahito Tabe ki haito Ke mane dhari tane Radhara Mahima Preme Rasa Sima Jagata Janato Ke Radhara Mahima Preme Rasa Sima. I cannot sing well today, I'm stuffy nose. You can see this. Radhara Mahima. What is the glories of Radharani? Prema Rasa Sima. The highest limit of prema. This is what Krishna wants to associate with. Association is a very elaborate and very high level word, which make even the Supreme get restless to associate. Understand? The Supreme Krishna, he becomes restless to associate. And therefore, who is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The result is the association. And he is giving association to so many, and he is seeking association from so many. Being Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Jagat Guru Gaur Mahaprabhu. ईश्वर पुरी के धन्या करी लेना श्री चैतन्य जगत गुरु गौर महाप्रभु है ना. You all know this? Every day you sing this Guru Parampara. ईश्वर पुरी के धन्या करी लेना श्री चैतन्य जगत गुरु गौर महाप्रभु. महाप्रभु श्री चैतन्य राधा कृष्ण नहीं अन्य रूपा दुर्गा जनेरा जीवा. सो ईश्वरपुरी के धन्या कोरी लेना श्री चैतन्य जगत गुरु गौर महाप्रभु. महाप्रभु इज वन जगत गुरु. And that's why the son of Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu, what is his name? Son of Advaitacharya Prabhu, Achyutanand Prabhu. Once upon a time, he heard Advaitacharya Prabhu's father saying, Mahaprabhu Gurudev is Ishwar Puripal. And his son objected. He said, Father, how can you say this? Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Dev, who is Jagat Guru, who is Supreme Lord, who can be his Guru? So Advaitacharya Prabhu and Mahaprabhu became so pleased to hear this. Small young boy, and he spoke such big Siddhanta. So Mahaprabhu, who is Jagat Guru, who knows everything, but something he wants to know more, he wants to taste more. Therefore, in Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri, how many have been Gambhira? Gambhira. Must go and visit. Must come India. Visit all these places of pastime of Mahaprabhu. Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, Navdeep, Mayapur Dham, and of course Shri Vrindavan Dham. By visiting all these places under the guidance of senior Vaishnavas, then this becomes the object of our meditation in our daily practice of chanting the mantras and Mahamantra. Otherwise, chanting is artificial. But by meditating on these places of pastimes is so important. So, I'm coming to the point. Mahaprabhu, who is Jagat Guru, he is tasting, is relishing with his companions, the dearmost, intimate associate, Sarup Damodar Ramanand Rai in Gambhira. But Mahaprabhu wants to associate one of his very dear, very, very intimate associate, Shri Ramanand Rai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how many years he was on this planet?
48.
Wow, David is very good. You're not David anymore. David is finished. We call you Dayanidhi. Anyway. 48 years. 24 years in Navdeep Dham. And then 18 years straight in Jagannath Puri, relishing, tasting these moods. But 6 years traveling South India. What is the purpose of going South India? Many purposes, secondary and primary. Giving prem to so many demigods, meeting so many people. God Brahm Samhita and Krishna Karanamrit. Mahaprabhu got these two books. Brahm Samhita and Krishna Karanamrit. But prime reason to meet Shri Ramanand Rai on the bank of Godavari. But there was also one other reason. To see Gopala Goswami. Is very dear. Amongst the 6 Goswamis, Shri Gopala Goswami, very dear. In the pastime of Mahaprabhu, there are some Gopals, but famous one are two Gopals. One is Gopal Guru, another is Gopal Bhatta. Gopal Guru, heard? Small young boy. Mahaprabhu hold his tongue because he's manifesting his human-like pastime. So every morning going for, what do you call? Nature call. Mahaprabhu was holding his tongue. And the young boy, Gopal, said, Mahaprabhu, why are you holding your tongue? And Mahaprabhu said, because my tongue always chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But I'm going for nature call, impure state, I cannot chant Krishna because impure. Then the Gopal said, Mahaprabhu, is there any consideration of chanting holy name in pure or impure state? What if anyone die in that impure state? Can't he chant Krishna now? Mahaprabhu became so happy and said, oh, you are the one who's giving instruction to me on the holy name. You're not Gopal anymore, you'll be Gopal Guru. Gopal Guru. So one is Gopal Guru and another is Gopal Bhatta Goswami, young boy. Mahaprabhu went to Srirangam. And Param Gurudev, even Shri Nityananda Prabhu, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shri Nityananda Prabhu visited all these places, holy places in India. All these places. Srirangam, very important from Shri Sampradaya. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Param Gurudev, our Gurudev, all acharyas, they used to take devotees around, have darshan of all these places. Very important, Srirangam. Have you ever been there? Anyone? Yes. One and only one. Srirangam. Huge temple. Sriranganath Swami. Vishnu lying. Big, huge. And just behind the temple, the small house of Shri Venkat Bhatt, father of Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami. Shri Venkat Bhatt. And Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita the beautiful pastime when Mahaprabhu, he came to Srirangam, the 4 rainy season, Chaturmasya. Mahaprabhu stayed in Srirangam. Shri Venkat Bhatt initiated in Shri Sampradaya. He hosted Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Shri Venkat Bhatt hosted Mahaprabhu in in one house, not in his own house, but another house. Seeing him a sannyasi and considering we are grastas, sannyasi should have his own privacy. So, Shri Venkat Bhatt host him and serving Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Son of Shri Venkat Bhatt, Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami also got this opportunity to massage Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and getting his uchishta, his remnants. Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami also heard the beautiful conversation took place between Venkat Bhatt and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu jokingly said, Venkat Bhatt, because Shri Sampradaya means the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. You know? See, Venkat Bhatt, why your goddess Lakshmi? She is consort of Narayan, right? She is consort of Narayan, but then why she is running after Krishna? Venkat Bhatt took it very lightly. He said, because there is no difference between Narayan and Krishna. It's one and the same thing. Mahaprabhu said, yes, that's true. No difference Narayan and Krishna, but then why she is not satisfied with Narayan and why she want to be with Krishna? If that is the case, why? And why she has to perform austerities for so long to get Krishna? Venkat Bhatt said, I don't know. Any evidence? Whatever Mahaprabhu is saying is always saying with evidence. And evidence is Praman Amalam. What? Srimad Bhagavat Praman Amalam Yad Vaishnav Nam Priyam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Praman Amalam. Praman means evidence. Every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is evidence. Is Uttar Mimansa, the answer of Purva Mimansa. Is the answer of everything. And no one can cut any evidence of Srimad Bhagavatam. No Acharya has ever touched this. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is Amal Puran. No contamination there. Amal. In Puranas, there is some mal. Contamination. What kind of contamination? Oh, if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get that. Liberation, all that. But Bhagavatam is considered as Amal Quran, endowed with 10 symptoms. Also learn this. What are 10 symptoms of Bhagavatam? Sarg, Visarg, Sthanam, Poshnam, Uti, Manvantra, Ishanu Katha, Nirod, Mukti, Ashraya. 10 canto Bhagavatam. Sorry. Srimad Bhagavatam with 12 canto, 10 symptoms. The most important is Ashraya, the shelter, which is the 10th canto. So Mahaprabhu gave an evidence that Lakshmi, your goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, your Ishta, worshipable Lakshmi, she want to be with Krishna. She heard the flute song of Krishna, she got so attracted, she came to Vrindavan. And then she saw the beauty of Krishna, she wanted to be with Krishna. But Krishna imposed some regulations. Some conditions there, sorry. Condition is, you have to, what? Become a gopi. You have to take birth from the womb of a gopi to become a gopi. Lakshmi said, why me, gopi? I'm Lakshmi, I'm not less. I'm Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. I stay with Narayan, who has all opulences. And Krishna said, I'm just repeating how Gurudev used to express this. And then Krishna said, then, when you become gopi, no, she asked, then what I have to do after becoming gopi? Krishna said, you have to make cow dung patties. Gurudev used to do like this. Huh? Cow dung patties. She said, I can't touch that. Cow dung. You have to milk cows and make cow dung patties. Lakshmi said, no, I can't do that. The most important condition is only those who take shelter of Radharani, only they can get entrance to Vrindavan now. No one else can get shelter. Entrance to Vrindavan now. Means entrance with the Braj Bhav, the mood of Vrindavan. So Lakshmi said, why? I'm Lakshmi. I'm not less. Why I have to take shelter of Radharani? Krishna said, then you can't attain. You can't get me. Oh, I will satisfy you with my austerities, meditation. Krishna said, then go ahead. And at Bale 1, she's sitting there performing austerities. Vihai kamena sucharena dhritrataha. Kasyanu bhavnasya devidmahe. Who's saying this? Who's saying this verse? Anyone? Nagpatni is the wife of Kaliya. Learn this verse, very important. There's the evidence. This evidence Mahaprabhu gave. Can you imagine how important is this evidence? You find in Bhagavatam. Kasyanu bhavna asya devidmahe tav angri renu sparsha adhikara tapa yad vancha shila nanakara tapa vihai kamena sucharena dhetavrata. How come our husband Kaliya got your lotus feet on your head? That lotus feet which is so rare, even for Lakshmi, and she's performing austerities for a long time. How can our husband Kaliya, who's so cruel, snake, he got your lotus feet on his head, on his hoods. Whereas Lakshmi, she's performing austerities, she didn't got that. That's the evidence Mahaprabhu gave to Venkat Bhatt. And Venkat Bhatt can't do anything. That's the evidence from Bhagavatam. Even now, if you speak this to many Hindu temples, they say, oh, you fabricating this. We can't believe. What is difference? Narayan, Krishna, Ram, all same. Sita, Radha, Lakshmi, all same. They see everything same. Because they don't read philosophy. If they read Gaudiya philosophy, there's nothing is same. There's not one. Everything is 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing is one. You know? One is only in Shankaracharya philosophy. Everything is one. Brahm Satya Jagat Mithya. Everyone one. Everything is one. Everything is one. When Sri Shankaracharya, when he was child, small boy, his mother ordered him, go and count how many eggplants in the field. And he came to the field and he counted and came back and said, Mother, one. Now we're saying one. That's why all these people don't know the philosophy. Everything is one. But there are so many details. And those who read this philosophy, those who hear this philosophy, they understand, wow, so much beauty. It's not one. Unity in diversity. So Lakshmi is performing austerity. Mahaprabhu gave this evidence and Venkat Bhatt, he heard this. He said, but what is the evidence? Those who serve or want to follow the lotus feet of Radharani, they got entrance to Rasa Leela or they got entrance to be along with Krishna. What is the evidence? He counter questioned that. Mahaprabhu said, yes, Bhagavatam. Answer is Bhagavatam. That's why Bhagavatam is known as Uttar Mimansa. Means answer of Purva Mimansa, of question. Mahaprabhu gave another reason. Yes. Vayam apite samasade shangri saroja sudaya. The Shrutis. In 10th canto you read those Shrutis, Vedas, prayers of the Vedas, Shrutis. And they are saying, we want to follow the footsteps of the Braj Gopis to serve Krishna. We also want to serve Krishna, but not individually, but by following the footsteps of the Braj Gopis. Mahaprabhu gave this evidence. So beautiful conversation. If you want to read this, read Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. By hearing this, Venkat Bhatt, he got amazed. Mahaprabhu giving so many evidence. Mahaprabhu was jokingly started this, but there was conversion. Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami heard this and he became totally from Sri Sampradaya, now Gaudiya Sampradaya, means follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though Gopal Bhatt Goswami is eternal associate, but because of this Leela, human-like pastime, is showing that he took birth in South India and initiated in Sri Sampradaya, and Mahaprabhu is there and he heard this philosophy and got attracted. And he got this Uchishta, means remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Remnants. And thereby Mahaprabhu, he left. After Chaturmasya over, 4 months of rainy season over. But Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, feeling separation, as Shri Jiv Goswami also, as Shri Raghunath Das Goswami also, got one glimpse or one little association, and they are now all the time weeping and crying in separation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Gopal Bhatt Goswami crying and weeping in separation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's what we were hearing in this song. What to speak of the Goswamis? We hear about them, we are hearing about them. We see our Gurudev. How many of us we are feeling separation from him? Sadhaka. Sadhaka means practitioner. He is one who is always burning in the fire of separation, as shown by our Goswamis. One who is restless, one who always wants to serve Mahaprabhu, not to serve one's senses and mind. Learn this shloka. Atmindi pritivancha tate bole kam. Krishna in the Priti one. Must right there in the center somewhere is. Any corner. And every activity is focused on this. Krishna in the Priti Vancha Dhore Premanam.
What's the first word?
Atma Indriya Priti Vancha. Very important. To practice this, not to learn this. But first learn, then practice. Anything which we do for pleasing our senses and mind, this is calm, selfishness, self-enjoyment. But anything which is done for the pleasure of Krishna, for pleasing his senses, is actually prem. And that needs sacrifice. Love means sacrifice. Prem means sacrifice. You can't attain prem without sacrifice. And that's why Krishna arthe akil bhoga tyag. For pleasing Krishna, giving up one's favorites to please Krishna. And he really feels so happy when he see you are attached to something very much, and for my sake you are giving up this. Your best favorite. It can be anything, any commodity, eating, whatever. You're sacrificing this for me, keeping me as center. Krishna admires. Krishna arthe akhil bhog tyag. Rupa Goswami Pad is telling this, writing this in Bhakti Samsita. Just like, not because of I'm disease, I'm having some diarrhea, I cannot eat halwa, I cannot eat sweet rice, so I'm giving up. Then I'm the center of that giving up. But when Krishna is the center of this, many of us, you might have heard this example of, years back I heard, a mango. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, once upon a time, when he was child, he took one mango. He ate that mango which was not offered. And when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur corrected him that how can you eat anything without offering to Krishna, he repented a lot. And he took a vow on that day, I'm not going to eat mango throughout my life. Never. He ate mango throughout his life. He's shown by the example. Krishna arthe akhil bhog tyag. Only making Krishna as the center and then giving up all those enjoyments. Then, what I was saying before that?
Giving up stuff. Mango sacrifice.
What is it?
And आत्मेंद्र प्रीति वांछा ताते बोले काम कृष्ण the प्रीति वांछा धरे प्रेम नाम. Sacrificing for Krishna, for the sake of Krishna, that is called sacrifice. But giving up home, giving up this and that for your reason, that's not Krishna consciousness. But for Krishna, that's the important point here. So, Karuna na haile kandiya kandiya prana rakhivo har. Can you imagine this stage? Gurudev, I will not receive your mercy, I will not keep my life. And I weep and cry and I will die day and night, being restless in separation from you. Meditating on the, every day we are chanting Dhimahi in our Gayatri. What meditate on? Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Maharaj is saying, Dhimahi, meditate on what? The service, the seva. Meditating on the seva. What I have to do? Kim karom mein hum, kim karom mein hum. What I have to do? What I have to do? What I have to do? Next. This is Kinkari Bhav. This is Manjari Bhav. The Manjaris, the Kinkaris, they are not sitting idle there. Oh yeah, we served all day. Now it's time to take rest. Kim karom mein hum. Restlessness. If there is restlessness, then you are sadhaka. If there is no restlessness, no sadhaka. We are enjoying the facility given by Krishna. We as devotees, we as preachers, we as brahmacharis, we as the residents, ladies ashram or male ashram, gents ashram. Otherwise, we are enjoying the facility if we are not contributing anything in the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are not here to enjoy the facility, we are here to serve the facility. Then, this is called burning, making oneself restless. If you're not restless, you're not sadhaka. Forget about that. Sadhaka means restlessness. I need to learn more, I need to serve more, I need to learn more, I need to serve more. Day and night, just one meditation, one pointed meditation. Are Baba, meditating on Radha Krishna is very far. First meditate how to serve my Guru. First meditate how I can serve my mission. On Srila Gurudev's Discipline Day, I spoke this point. Many people think now I'm retired age, 65, 70. I've worked a lot in my life. Now is the time to relax. I will chant 16 rounds, I will read Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's it. I'll spend my day like this. The age when we are thinking to retire, this is the age when Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev, they started the mission of traveling around and preaching. What was their retirement age? What is the retirement time? Was there any retirement time? So restless. Because there is something meditating on how I have to serve the mission of my Guru Parampara. I received so much. And now we have to distribute these fruits. First collect those fruits and then distribute those fruits. Don't sit idle. That's not sadhaka. Sitting idle is not our mission. Our mission is work hard. As our acharyas, our gurudevs worked so hard for us. Now is the time for us. And then other point comes, oh, I don't need to work 5 days a week. I work 3 days. That's enough to maintain my family. I hear this in many countries. I work 3 days and that's enough to maintain my family. That's it. So you are only centered around your family. Where is Krishna as the center? You work 3 days for your family, then work 2 more days for the serving the mission of your Gurudev. You work 3 days for your family, fine. Everyone needs money. But then 2 days, any 2 days in week, keep it in head. These 2 days is any earning is for mission of my Gurudev. Give them in projects. Then these 2 days of your energy is Krishna as the center, not your family. Otherwise, you're centered, you're keeping yourself and your family as the center of your, utilizing your energy But if you make one day, promise, just one day, any Monday to Friday, I'll keep that reserved for my Gurudev, my Krishna. So this is for brahmachari, for sannyasi, for grasta, for vanprastha, everyone. When Krishna is the center, then we are developing that love. But then, isn't it sacrifice there? Working 3 days or working 5 days, 2 extra days working? Of course, this is sacrifice. But for whom you are doing this sacrifice? This sacrifice turns to attachment. And that attachment turns to prem. How you can jump on prem without sacrifice and we are not developing attachment? There cannot be no love without attachment. And there can be no love without sacrifice. So as brahmacharis, work hard. Restlessness is the ornament of the residents of the month. There's the ornament. There's a shingar. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, so restless to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Jiva Goswami, so restless to meet Mahaprabhu. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, so restless to meet Nityan Prabhu and Mahaprabhu. If you read, then you understand what is the meaning of restlessness. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, whose favorite was Shri Govardhan and Radha Kund, don't want to leave Govardhan. Nija nikata nivasam dehi Govardhan tvam. But in separation from Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, he's seeing Govardhan as a python coming to eat me. Radha Kund is like a tigress coming to eat me. The object of his love, the object of his worship becomes in separation, becomes the object of his eating. There's a state in separation. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, in separation, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we see little something mentioned in Chaitanya Chaitamrita. And therefore he came to Shri Vrindavan Dham. And in Vrindavan Dham, he is worshipping Shaligram. Offering Tulasi Manjaris and remembering Mahaprabhu, remembering the Ashtakali Leela, offering Manjaris to Shaligram. And we heard this famous story. Once upon a time a rich, wealthy person came and he offered some ornaments for his deities. And his deity is just Shaligram, not three-band Krishna. Heard this story? And what happened then? What happened? Huh?
He wanted to do Shringa Thakurji. He couldn't because it was just around Shaligram.
It's just around Shaligram Shila. He can't do Shingar. And then he started crying and weeping. And what happened then? Huh? The Shaligram turned to three-band form, Radha Raman. Yes? That's a famous story. But there is Siddhanta behind this story. There is a philosophical point behind manifestation of Shri Radha Raman, a contribution of Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami to entire world. Manifesting Shri Radha Raman. What is that story? How this name appeared, Radha Raman? From where this name appeared, Radha Raman? This appeared from the lotus lips of Radharani. Where? In Vrindavan. In which pastime? In Ras Leela. In union or separation? In separation. Radharani gave name ceremony. Means she gave a name to Krishna. gopis in search for Krishna, wandering here and there. Because Krishna is with Radharani. I'm not going detail into Rasa Leela. It's very, very elaborate. But Krishna took Radharani alone, and all the gopis, they are in search of Krishna. They're feeling separation from Krishna. And only thing which can subside the separation is either Krishna, Krishna Naam, the holy name of Krishna, or the pastime of Krishna. So they are singing and chanting. Nanda Nandana Yashoda Nandana. What is next? Udara Heshi Madhava Jayati Te Digam Janmana Vraja Shayata Indira Shashvadatrahi Daita Dikshita Dikshita Vaka Taidrita Sava Tam Vichinvate Tav Kathamrita Tapta Jivana Kavi Vidanti Te Sarvashavaham Shavanamangala Shivanagata Bhuvi Gritanti Te Bhurina Jana. They're chanting the name of Krishna to subside that separation. And then they started imitating the pastime of Krishna. Killing Putana, killing Tarnavrat, killing Shaktasur, lifting Govardhan, Dambandhan Leela. Imitating those pastimes of Krishna. In that imitation, who is becoming the demon and who's taking the role of a demon and who's taking the role of Krishna? Vasanti Devi. She helped in painting, so she knows. So which gopi is playing the role of Krishna and which gopi is playing the role of the demons? What were categories?
Who was imitating Krishna?
Those Yutheshwaris, those who are the leaders, they were enjoying this pastime, means imitating to subside the separation. They are playing the role of Krishna. It's just like Krishna killed Putna. So those Yutheshwaris means the leaders. Yutheshwari means the leaders. They are playing the role of Krishna. But they have sacharis, their assistant. They are playing the role of the demons, Putana, Shaktasur and all. To give support and assist their leaders, means their group leaders. But whatever in their meditation, the pastimes of Krishna, in whatever meditation they started enacting those pastimes. But when they're thinking of Dambandhan Leela, how Yashoda Maya bind Krishna, question her all. Who's going to become Yashoda? Because Vatsalya Ras is opposite to the Madhurya Ras. Is Virodhi, against. Understand? Madhurya Ras means conjugal love. And Vatsalya means of motherly. Can any wife can play the role of a mother, it's totally against. And all the gopis wondering, who is going to become Yashoda now? Since this is meditation now, we have to enact this pastime. Then Yog Maya Purnamashi came forward and she reconciled this. Anyhow, long story short, this is the reason, this is the name Radharaman. I'm coming to this point. Radharani heard, my gopis are nearby, they are searching for me, searching for Krishna. And she started playing a pastime so that my gopis can come immediately and can see how Krishna is Anukula Nayak, submissive to me and serving me. Because they're going to be very happy seeing this, how Krishna is submissive to me. So Radharani said, Saja mene tadatmanam varishtam sarvayoshitam hittu gopi kama aso bhajate priya tattva gapta vanam desham dhrittam kesham abravit na pareham chalitum nay mam yatte viya evam muktam priya askan urayate dim tatasya antarday Krishna savadu anmatakte. Oh, Krishna cannot walk. I cannot walk further. What can I do? Krishna said, then sit on my shoulder. Sit on my shoulder. Moment Krishna bent. This is what Radharani wanted. My all gopis should come here and see how Krishna is serving me. But then Krishna thought, oh, I'm also hearing gopis nearby. If they see that I'm alone with Radharani, they will get us some envious mood. And they will make Radharani on fault. That we all were together about to play Ras, but you took Krishna alone. I don't want any fault come on Radharani. I want to take all fault on my head. Tatascha antarday Krishna. Krishna disappeared from there. And sa Vadhu anvataptai. Vadhu, that gopi, started crying and weeping. Who's that gopi? So Shukdev Goswami is not directly uttering Radha, Vadhu. She started weeping. Means Radharani. And all the gopis came there and saw, oh, he's so cruel. He left you alone like this. And you weeping. And Radharani is crying and weeping. Hanath, Raman Preshta, Kwasi Mahabhuja, Dasyaste Karpanne me Sakhe Darshan se nidhe. Hanath, oh my Lord. Raman Preshta, where are you? Where are you? Please extend your darshan to me. How Radharani is addressing to Krishna here? Raman. Hanath Raman Preshta. And from this Ras Leela, the name of Krishna is Radha Raman. That Krishna, that Raman, who is always wandering with Radha Rani, who always wander in Radha Rani. Radha Raman. So Radharani gave this name, Raman, from this Ras Leela. But what is the significance of Gopal Bhatta Goswami here? Significance. How this Shaligram turned to three-bent form Krishna. That was just introduction. Radharani said Radha Raman. And now come to this point. Who are these Manjaris? They are expansions of Radharani. That's why they have oneness with Radharani. Who is Shirupa Manjari? The form of Radharani, right? Is Rupa Manjari. Who is Gopal Bhatta Goswami? Guna means? The qualities of Radharani. How many qualities?
60.
26 qualities by Rupa Goswami. Charu Sobhagya Rekhadya Gandhodmadit Madhava Sangeet Parasara Vigya Ramme Vak Narva Pandita Vinit Karuna Purna Vidagda Pattanvita Lajja Shil Su Maryadaya Dhere Kambir Sharani Suvilas Mahabhav Parmotkarsh Darshani Gokul Prem Vasati Jagat Sheni Jagat Lasa Guru Arpita Guru Sneha Sakhi Pranati Vash Krishna Prayavali Mukhya Santad Ashra Keshava. 26 qualities. Ujjwal Nirmali.
Isn't there 26 qualities of devotee as well?
No, that's different.
That's good.
This is by Rupa Goswami and Ujjwal Nirmali. So, the qualities of Radharani, the manifestation of the qualities of Radharani is Guna Manjari. So it's not that, suppose I have one shawl and I keep my shawl out from my body, and shawl is a separate entity from me. If the qualities of Radharani taking a form, assuming a form, Guna Manjari, it's not that now she is devoid of all qualities. If the form of Radharani is Rupa Manjari, and she take a form as a Rupa Manjari, it's not that now she has no form or she has no beauty. It's all Purna, it's all complete. Understand? So Guna Manjari, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, his Tadatme. What do you know the meaning Tadatme? What is oneness means? If you put an iron bar in a fire for hours, couple of hours, the iron bar also become fire. Means whatever fire can do, iron bar can also do. So iron bar got Tadatme, oneness with the fire. Understand? Whatever Radharani goes through, be with Krishna, get reflect to the Manjaris. What is evidence? It's little difficult to say, very intimate, but this is a verse by Raghunath Das Goswami. A question: is Rupa Manjari married or not?
Yes.
Vasanti Didi? No. Anyone? Yes or no?
She's too young. No.
Huh?
She's too young.
I think she's married.
She's married.
Yes, she's married.
And what is the evidence? Raghunath Das Goswami. Yes. Raghunath Das Goswami is praying that, oh Rupa Manjari, your husband is away, then why I'm seeing what do you call?
Kiss white
Bite mark on your lips. How come you got this bite mark on your lips? Your husband is not here. So this shows she's married. So how this came on her lips? Huh? Understand?
Yes.
It's little embarrassing for me to say this. Keeping the Maryada. But just to prove this point, to establish this Siddhanta, that the Manjaris get the Datme with Radharani, what she goes through with Krishna, immediately reflect on them. So imagine, in the time of union with Krishna, meeting with Krishna, the joy, what she goes through, get to the Manjaris, and the evidence is Govinda Lilamrit by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Shadgun Shanti, Shadgun Adhikam Shanti Tam Na Chitram, 100 times. 100 times. Shri Kaviraj Goswami, Govinda Lilamrit, you find this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Sakhe Shri Radhika Brajkumar Vidur Alani Naam Shakti. 100 times more. So anyway, Tadatme. If Radharani is in meeting with Krishna, she feels so happy, joy, and Manjaris who are far away, they immediately get all that moods in them. without being with Krishna.
Is this called the Yavat Ashray Vritti?
Huh?
The Yavat Ashray Vritti? Same?
And then, in meeting, if it's happening like this, how about separation then?
100 times.
This is what happened. Now you see connection of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. When Radharani is crying and weeping, Hanath Raman Preshta, Kwasi, Kwasi Mahabhuja. Oh, the Lord of my life, where are you, where are you? The separation mood of Radharani reflected on Guna Manjari. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And when the tears fall on the Shaligram turned to Shri Radharaman. Guna Manjari. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who gave a great gift to this world, Shri Radharaman ji. So in his Siddh Bhumika and also as a sadhaka, so much for us. He's the one who also wrote the Sat Sandarbhas. But later Jiva Goswami Pal compiled those Sandarbhas. But it's actually Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sat Sandarbhas. And Sat Karisar Deepika. We do Yajna, Swaha, all those samskaras which we go through. Wedding, Nam Sanskar, Anparashan, all the sanskars. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami introduced that. I mean, he wrote according to the Vaishnav Vedic Paddhati, not from the Smart Vichar. This is separation. He is Gopal Bhatta Goswami as sadhaka and associate of Mahaprabhu, playing the role of a sadhaka, showing so much separation with Mahaprabhu, for Mahaprabhu. And then as Shri Guna Manjari, so much separation. And he's getting this separation from Radharani at Tadatma oneness. And with his tears, manifested Shri Radharaman. Hello, Shri Radharaman Ji ki. And Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj, just 2 minutes. How glorious is Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj, who is not even the god brother of Narottam Thakur, who is the next generation of Shri Narottam Thakur. Whose disciple is Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj? Srinivas Acharya Prabhu. 3 Prabhus? What 3 Prabhus? Narottam Shamana Srinivas Prabhu. Right. Narottam Shamanan Srinivas Prabhu. 3 Prabhus. Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami is disciple of, Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj, disciple of Srinivas Acharya Prabhu. That means he is next generation of Shri Narottam Thakur. Next generation with Shri Narottam Thakur. But Shri Narottam Thakur is teaching us with his own example how much important is initiation for us. What is the purpose of initiation? What is the aim and object of initiation? That I'll become Guru one day? The aim and object is to attain Krishna Prem, right? To attain Krishna Prem is a loving service of Radha Krishna. That's the whole purpose of getting samskar of initiation done. But Shri Narottam Thakur, he attained Prem in his young age. Initiation was also not there. He already attained that. But then why he have to come Vrindavan? What is the need of learning so many scriptures under the guidance of Jiva Goswami? Why we have to read scriptures? He already attained Prem, Baba. What is the need to learn? And then, Why he is struggling so hard in getting initiation from his Gurudev, Sri Loknath Goswami? You already attained Prem. Initiation is not required for you. So he is crossing all those arguments with his own example. Even though he attained Prem in his young age, still he is showing with his own example as Acharya. Initiation is so important to get samskars done. Infinite lifetime of birth and death, all these samskaras has to be smashed and stopped with this samskara of initiation. Therefore he strives for that. And he got initiation from Sri Loknath Goswami and Shiksha, learning from Sri Jiva Goswami. But then it is complete now. Initiation is done. I have my Diksha Guru. I'm learning from someone. And then I already have Prem. And that's complete. Yes?
No.
What more? Association. And therefore Shirottam Thakur is writing Ramchandra Sangamage Narottama Das. I want the association of Ramchandra Kaviraj. How glorious is Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj Goswami. Shri Ramchandra Kaviraj, when he was getting ready for marriage, he was groomed. Huh? Huh? Can you please tell this?
Bolo.
No, come here.
I don't know the whole story. But on his on Sri Ramachandra,
Loud.
on Ramachandra Kaviraj Goswami's wedding day, he was riding, I think, on a horse,
That's the Indian style.
Yes.
Band party.
and maybe the lady's riding on an elephant. I don't know.
No.
But sometimes they do. So he's riding on the horse, and then Srinivas Acharya was sitting there doing bhajan, or maybe reading on like a rock or something, with like a beautiful light was shining on him. Also, there was some rain that wasn't touching him. It was a different story. And so he was looking like, who is this person? And then he says, "Yo, you're so happy, but really, you're tying a noose around your neck, and you don't even know it, and you're just hanging yourself. Death is coming because you think, oh, this material life, this married life is going to be so happy, but no, it's like a noose around your neck, and it'll kill you, it'll kill the Atma, it'll take you further away from Bhakti." But I don't really know what Srinivasacharya told him, but that one sentence, you were actually tying a noose around your neck, was so much from the words of Srinivasacharya that immediately it cut the knot of material existence in the heart of Ramachandra. And then after this, I don't think he got married.
No. How could you?
Jumped off that horse real quick.
Just one sentence change his life. What you're trying to do? Wasting your life. And just by hearing these words, imagine, words of acharyas are powerful, but how much we are receptive to those words. And how those words so receptive. Sri Ramchandra Kaviraj took so seriously. And imagine at that time when his wedding. And he took this so seriously. And he gave up. He gave up that. Kaviraj is a title. Kavi means poet. Raj means the best of the poet. So therefore, it shows how the glories of Sri Ramchandra Kaviraj, that Sri Narottam Thakur, who is like his Shiksha Guru, not in his generation, but he's like a Shiksha Guru. And Narottam Thakur is praising Sri Ramchandra Kaviraj for his association. Ramchandra Sangamage Narottama Das. On this auspicious day, we pray to both these acharyas. Please bless us We are hearing so many words, we are reading so many words, but no effect. It's just going from here, coming out from here. So these words can stay in my heart. These words can stay in our heart. We can also seriously take these words of each and every word of Bhagavatam, each and every word of the scriptures, life history of these acharyas. If we take this seriously, then we can develop this restlessness of service mode. Without service mode, life is useless. Prem dhan vina vyarth daridra jivan. Das kori vetan mor deho prematan. Without this service, can you imagine how fortunate we are? We were just in the streets and involved in all this kind of material activities. But by good fortune, we came in this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And we're hearing these names, we're hearing all this. You think this is something small? It's something big happening in our life. A big gift we received this. And so many sadhus have worked hard for us. You know? Can we just waste our life like this? After receiving so much? Then no one can be more foolish than us if we are wasting our life like this. After receiving and after knowing so much. Uselessness. That's not our life. It's a precious, something very precious, more precious than any other jewel. We have to preserve this, save this, utilize this the best way we can, keeping aside all our limitations and just focus and meditate on serving the mission of Mahaprabhu. No matter what happens, no matter what ups and downs happens, forget about that. March forward and serve. Bas. No need for qualities. Srila Bharati Maharaj used to say the qualities will reflect on you. When you are ready for any service, Guru and Krishna will give qualities to you. And you'll be surprised how this quality reflect on me. I was not even aware of this or not qualified for this. Everything will come to you. What we need is, only thing we need is, we prepare for service. Make yourself so tired. I was saying other day, make yourself so tired that even when you're sitting in class, you fall to sleep. Make yourself so tired. But tired in serving. Then you see the difference. You find yourself different. You're not the same. It will be surprising. Gaur Premanandi. Gopala Goswami ki. Ramchandra Kaviraj Goswami ki. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki. Shri Guru Maharaj ki. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki. Mangal Hari Naam Sankirtan ki. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Shri GVO Center ki. Shri Shamrani Devi ki. And all Parikars ki. Yes, Prabhu.
What does the word Raman mean? Like we said, Guna means qualities, Rupa means form. So what does Raman mean?
Raman means one who wanders with Radharani or play pastimes with Radharani or please Radharani.
So then Raman Manjari, what does she personify? The Raman of Radha? The playful, the pleasingness of Radha?
The playful pastime of Radha and Krishna. One who fix or arranges the meetings of Radha. I know what you're indicating.
Just wondering.
That's our Gurudev's
Name.
That's our Gurudev's seva. The guidance of Lalita Sakhi, Rupamanjari, she is arranging the meeting of Radha and Krishna. How many are working there? Just for one purpose?
Everyone's working. Krishna's making it difficult.
Krishna is making difficult.
He doesn't come when he's supposed to.
No, Radharan is making difficult. Difficult for Krishna. It's not that easy to touch Radharani's love. Krishna has to work hard to get this, to become peacock, to disguise himself sannyasi. She never does this. Krishna has to disguise himself, not Radharani.
He has to break her mind.
Oh, I heard this. It's not in our scriptures, but I heard one devotee explaining. Once upon a time, Krishna thought, every time Radha is manifesting man, and I'm the one who have to pacify her all the time. Tomorrow I'm going to try this on me. I'll be in man, and I want Radharani to pacify me. So he's sitting in Nidhuban. He came before time, not Miami time. He came before time. He was sitting there, and Radharani came. Cham, cham, cham. And Radharani said, "Oh, Krishna is today, early, before me."
Wow.
And the moment he saw Radharani, Krishna turned his face around. Yes, she does. Imitating, right? Imitating. Just heard this. I have not read anywhere. So he turned his face around, just artificially manifesting his man. And Radharani smiled and just say, "Oh, my beloved Krishna." Moment just she said this and he turned, "Yes." Yes, my dear. He can't maintain his bond. He can't maintain this bond. It's only Radharani. Sometimes she also melts, but then Lalita Sakhi. Dhurte braje tane tan shushtu bhamyam ma dakshna bhav kalanka nilagavaya. Oh, maintain your mind.
Yeah. It's smart.
So, Radhara Mahima Prema Ras Seema. Krishna cannot touch that. He has to become Mahaprabhu to touch this. The glories of Radharani is unparalleled. The prema of Radharani is unparalleled. Krishna has to do a lot of endeavors to touch this. Not Radharani. For her it's easy. Hare Krishna. 9 o'clock. Gaur Premanande. And also boys ashram ki. Boys ashram. One 5 minutes Mahamud and then we have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
life, no need to say. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Govinda Bol. Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Govinda Tomorrow.
Alright, there's the door.
Sure.
Better set this Mridanga down.
Maharaj, finish.
Grab it.
Hare Krishna. Neighbors calling police. Hari Bol. Neighbor calling police. Hare Krishna. Foolish officer is coming. Foolish officer.
What do we tell him, Maharaj?
Huh?
What do we tell him?
Tell them, when police come, just tell them, sir, we're just having a small party. And if you want to participate with us, so just chant, chant, chant. Chant the holy name. Life, life, life. Life to be saved. Chant, chant, chant the holy name. Life, life, life. Then he will say, what you guys saying chant, chant, but what to chant? Then tell him, Hare Krishna.